Dive into the heart of the Arabian desert and uncover the astonishing secrets of Shibam, the world's oldest skyscraper city. Often called the Manhattan of the desert, Shibam stands as a breathtaking symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. For over 2,000 years, this city has defied the harsh desert environment with its stunning mud-brick skyscrapers, rising up to 11 stories high, making it one of the earliest examples of vertical urban planning. In this video, we explore the fascinating history of Shibam, from its origins during the ancient spice trade to its rise as a key cultural hub in Yemen. The incredible architecture of Shibam skyscrapers, built entirely from sun-dried mud bricks, using techniques passed down through generations. How the city's unique design has helped it survive devastating floods, intense heat, and even conflict. The mystical legends surrounding Shibam's origins, including its ties to biblical figures like Shem, the son of Noah. The ongoing preservation efforts to protect this UNESCO World Heritage Site amidst climate change and modern threats. Learn how the people of Shibam adapted to their environment, using sustainable building techniques and natural cooling systems centuries before the modern skyscraper was ever imagined. Experience the magic of walking through the narrow streets of this ancient city, where history seems to whisper from every corner. Shibam is more than just a city. It's a living testament to the resilience and creativity of its people. Whether you're an architecture enthusiast, a history buff, or a traveler looking for hidden gems, this deep dive into Shibam will leave you awestruck. Don't miss out on exploring one of the greatest architectural wonders of the ancient world. Subscribe to our channel for more fascinating deep dives into historical wonders and hidden treasures around the globe. Get ready to be amazed by the awe-inspiring story of Shibam, an ancient skyscraper city standing tall in the sands of time. Watch now and uncover the hidden secrets of this architectural masterpiece. In the heart of the Arabian desert, nestled within the valley of Wadi Hadramaut, lies an extraordinary city that seems to defy time and logic, Shibam. Dubbed as the Manhattan of the desert, this ancient city, with its towering mud-brick skyscrapers, stands as a testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and adaptation to a harsh environment. Despite its remote location and arid surroundings, Shibam has thrived for centuries, presenting a surreal spectacle. A vertical cityscape that rivals even the modern metropolises of today. Unlike New York City, however, the buildings of Shibam are made not of steel and glass, but of sun-dried mud bricks, a traditional construction material that has sustained this community for nearly 2 millennia. This is the story of Shibam, the world's oldest skyscraper city. The origins of Shibam. A journey back in time. Shibam's origins date back over 2,000 years. Its early history is intertwined with the ancient kingdoms of South Arabia, such as the Hadramaut and Sabaean civilizations, which prospered due to their control of the lucrative incense trade routes that connected the Arabian Peninsula to the Mediterranean and the Indian subcontinent. The region of Hadramaut, where Shibam is located, was particularly significant as it provided a strategic nexus for traders transporting frankincense and myrrh, highly prized commodities in the ancient world. The city's unique location in the Wadi Hadramaut played a pivotal role in its development. The Wadi, a seasonal riverbed that channels rare but intense rainfall, provided a vital source of water in an otherwise desolate landscape. This access to water enabled agriculture, fostering settlement in the area. Yet the choice to build vertically, creating what are essentially mud-brick skyscrapers, was driven by a need to adapt to the Wadi's occasional destructive floods and the limited space available for expansion on the elevated mound. The architectural marvels of Shibam. Shibam's architectural prowess is what sets it apart from other ancient cities. It boasts approximately 500 mud-brick tower houses, some rising up to 11 stories high, making it one of the earliest examples of vertical urban planning in human history. These structures, soaring up to 30 meters or 98 feet, were an ingenious response to several challenges: the scarcity of arable land, the frequent flooding of the Wadi, and the need for defensive protection against raiders. Built close together, the tall houses form a dense, fortified block, making the city resemble a wall of cliffs rising abruptly from the valley floor. Mud-brick construction, an ancient art form. The construction material of Shibam's skyscrapers is what makes the city particularly unique. Unlike modern skyscrapers that utilize steel and concrete, Shibam's high-rise buildings are made of mud bricks, a mixture of clay, straw and water molded into blocks and dried under the harsh desert sun. This ancient technique, still used today, produces bricks that are remarkably strong and durable, especially when reinforced with wooden beams. The lower floors, designed to bear the weight of the upper stories, have thicker walls, up to 1 meter wide, while the walls taper towards the top, reducing the load and giving the buildings a slightly conical shape. Mud brick construction, although seemingly fragile, has its advantages in the extreme climate of Yemen. The thick walls provide natural insulation, keeping the interiors cool during the scorching summer days and warm during chilly nights. Additionally, the mud plaster covering the buildings helps in maintaining the structure's integrity by repelling rainwater, especially when combined with a white lime wash that reflects sunlight, reducing heat absorption. Despite its vertical orientation, Shibam was designed to accommodate the social needs of its inhabitants. Each house, akin to a self-contained apartment building, belongs to a single extended family. The ground floor is traditionally used for storage or shops, offering goods and services essential to the local community. The first floor often serves as a reception area for guests, showcasing the family's wealth and status through intricately carved wooden doors and elaborate window frames. Higher floors are dedicated to family living spaces, including bedrooms, kitchens, and private sitting rooms. The spatial organization of Shibam's buildings reflects the cultural norms and lifestyle of its residents. The lower floors are public and communal, while the higher floors are private and reserved for the family. The uppermost floors, often with balconies, provide spectacular views of the surrounding desert and the valley, acting as a sanctuary from the heat below and as a place for families to gather and socialize during the cooler evenings. An interesting feature of Shibam's urban design is the network of narrow passageways and interconnected rooftops, creating a maze-like environment that offers both practical and defensive benefits. These narrow streets limit direct sunlight, keeping the temperature cooler during the day and creating shaded walkways for the residents. The interconnected rooftops also serve as escape routes in case of floods or attacks, allowing residents to move quickly and safely between buildings. Shibam's location in the heart of the Wadi Hadramaut was no accident. The city's position along the ancient incense and spice trade routes made it a key trading hub in antiquity. Merchants and caravans passing through the region would stop at Shibam to rest, trade, and replenish their supplies. This influx of traders brought wealth and prosperity to the city, allowing it to flourish as a cultural and economic center. During the medieval period, Shibam became part of the broader Islamic world, serving as a significant stop for pilgrims traveling to Mecca. The city's growth was further propelled by its strategic location as a waypoint for caravans transporting valuable goods, such as frankincense, spices and textiles between the Arabian Peninsula, Africa and Asia. The distinctive vertical skyline of Shibam can be traced back to two devastating floods in 1298 and 1532, which reshaped the city's urban planning. These natural disasters washed away large portions of the original settlement, forcing the inhabitants to reconsider their construction practices. The response was to rebuild on the elevated mound that remained above the floodplain, where the risk of future flooding was reduced. This shift in construction was not only a practical adaptation, but also a necessity given the geographical constraints of the area. With limited space available on the mound, the residents of Shibam were compelled to build upwards, resulting in the dense concentration of tall buildings that characterize the city today. This vertical expansion minimized the city's footprint while maximizing its capacity, accommodating a growing population in a limited area. Shibam's tall, imposing mud-brick structures lend it an almost mystical appearance, especially when viewed from a distance against the stark desert landscape. As the sun sets, the city takes on a golden hue, the mud-brick walls reflecting the fading light and giving the illusion of a solid cliff face. This otherworldly vision has inspired legends and folklore, with many locals believing that the city's origins are rooted in the times of ancient biblical figures. According to one legend, Shibam was founded by the descendants of Shem, the son of Noah, who sought refuge in the fertile valleys of Hadramaut after the Great Flood. This ancient connection to biblical stories adds a layer of mystique to the city, imbuing it with an aura of sacredness and timelessness. Beyond its architectural marvels, Shibam is also renowned for its craftsmanship, particularly in woodworking and decorative arts. The doors and window frames of the city's tower houses are often intricately carved, featuring geometric patterns and floral motifs that are hallmarks of Islamic art. These wooden elements, crafted by skilled artisans, serve both aesthetic and functional purposes, enhancing the beauty of the buildings while providing ventilation and protection from the harsh sun. The city's mosques, including the historic Great Mosque of Shibam, showcase similar craftsmanship. Built entirely of mud brick, the mosque's walls are covered with a white lime plaster that gleams in the sunlight, making it a striking focal point in the city. The use of white lime was a status symbol in Shibam, as the material was expensive and labor-intensive to produce. Its reflective properties not only added aesthetic value, but also helped to cool the buildings, making it a practical choice for the region's hot climate. In recognition of its outstanding cultural and historical significance, Shibam was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982. The city is considered an exceptional example of traditional human settlement, land use and urban planning, illustrating the unique adaptation of a community to its environment. UNESCO's recognition has helped to bring international attention to Shibam, highlighting its architectural heritage and the need for preservation. However, the designation has also posed challenges. The influx of tourists and the increased exposure to the outside world have put pressure on the local infrastructure and resources. Additionally, maintaining the mud brick structures in their original form requires ongoing restoration work, as the buildings are vulnerable to weathering and decay. The local community, with support from international organizations, has undertaken numerous conservation projects to preserve Shibam's unique architecture and ensure its survival for future generations. Despite its ancient origins and historical significance, Shibam faces a range of modern threats that put its future at risk. One of the most pressing issues is the ongoing conflict in Yemen, which has devastated the country and disrupted daily life in many of its cities, including Shibam. The war has made it difficult to carry out necessary restoration and conservation work, leaving many of the city's buildings in a vulnerable state. Make the background music calm. In addition to the conflict, Shibam faces significant environmental threats. Climate change has increased the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as floods and cyclones, which have proven particularly destructive to the city's mud brick structures. The tropical cyclone of 2008, for instance, resulted in severe flooding that caused widespread damage, washing away parts of the wadi and undermining the foundations of many buildings. Although Shibam's elevated position helped it avoid the worst of the floodwaters, several structures were severely damaged, necessitating extensive repairs. The combination of conflict and environmental degradation has compounded the challenges of preserving Shibam. Without the necessary resources, materials and skilled labour, maintaining the integrity of its mud-brick skyscrapers becomes a daunting task. International aid organisations, alongside UNESCO, have initiated conservation efforts, but progress is slow, and the ongoing war makes consistent work difficult. The threat of modern development also looms, as the surrounding areas of Hadramaut see an increase in contemporary concrete constructions, potentially overshadowing the ancient aesthetic of the city. The ingenious construction techniques of Shibam. The architectural marvels of Shibam owe much to the skill and ingenuity of its builders. The city's mud-brick skyscrapers, while appearing fragile, have stood the test of time, surviving for centuries in one of the harshest climates on Earth. The construction techniques employed by the city's early builders were not only practical, but also reflected a deep understanding of the environment and available materials. Sun-dried mud bricks. The building blocks of Shibam. The process of creating the mud bricks, or adobe, is an art passed down through generations. The bricks are made from a mixture of clay-rich soil, straw and water. The straw acts as a binder, providing additional strength and preventing the bricks from cracking as they dry. The mixture is poured into wooden moulds to form bricks, which are then left to bake in the sun. This process hardens the bricks, making them robust enough to be used as the primary building material. Shibam's builders faced the challenge of constructing multi-story buildings with a material that could erode with water. To mitigate this, they developed techniques to protect the structures from rain and floods. The exterior walls are coated with layers of mud plaster, which are periodically renewed to maintain their integrity. Additionally, the upper stories are often finished with a coat of white lime plaster, which acts as a waterproofing agent and reflects the sun's rays, reducing heat absorption. Foundation and load distribution. Given the height of Shibam's buildings, the foundation plays a crucial role in their stability. The foundations are made using a combination of stone and mud brick, providing a solid base on which the tall structures rest. The lower floors have thick walls, sometimes over 1 meter wide, to support the weight of the upper stories. As the building rises, the walls taper, reducing in thickness to decrease the load on the lower levels. This conical design, though subtle, is a critical factor in the building's stability. The use of wooden beams, known locally as kanatir, is another vital feature of Shibam's architecture. These beams are embedded horizontally within the walls at regular intervals, providing additional support and preventing the walls from bulging outwards. The wood used is often acacia or palm, both native to the region and well suited to withstand the dry climate. One of the remarkable aspects of Shibam's architecture is its natural cooling system, which is vital given the intense heat of the desert environment. The narrow shaded streets between the buildings limit direct sunlight, creating a cooler microclimate at street level. Inside the homes, the thick mud brick walls act as insulators, keeping the interior temperature relatively stable. The layout of the rooms also reflects traditional cooling strategies, with living spaces positioned to take advantage of prevailing winds for ventilation. Additionally, the buildings are designed with small, strategically placed windows that allow air circulation while minimizing heat entry. These windows are often covered with intricately carved wooden screens known as mashrabia, which provide privacy and diffuse sunlight, casting beautiful patterns of light and shadow within the rooms. Shibam is not merely an architectural wonder, it is also a cultural gem that embodies the heritage and traditions of the Hadramaut region. The city's unique way of life has been shaped by its environment, geography and history, making it a living museum of Yemeni culture. The people of Shibam have long been known for their skills in various crafts, particularly woodworking and pottery. The wooden doors and window frames of the mud brick towers are masterpieces of craftsmanship, often adorned with geometric and floral designs. These carvings are deeply symbolic, reflecting Islamic artistic traditions and the cultural values of the community. The city's artisans, despite the challenges posed by modernity, continue to preserve these traditional skills, passing them down through generations. Pottery is another significant craft in Shibam, with local potters creating a variety of functional and decorative items. The clay used in pottery is sourced from the wadi, and traditional kilns are still employed to fire the pots. These crafts are an essential part of the local economy, with goods sold in the bustling souks of Shibam and neighbouring towns. Social structure and family life. The social structure of Shibam is closely tied to its architecture. The layout of the homes, with separate areas for men and women, reflects the traditional customs and gender norms of Yemeni society. The extended family, or hamula, forms the core social unit, with multiple generations often living under one roof. This arrangement fosters strong family ties and a sense of community, with elders playing a central role in decision-making and the transmission of cultural values. The daily life of Shibam's residents revolves around the rhythms of the wadi and the desert. Agriculture, despite the harsh environment, remains a key livelihood, with date palms and other crops cultivated in the fertile soil of the valley. The wadi's seasonal floods bring much-needed water, replenishing the underground aquifers and sustaining the agricultural activities of the region. In the modern era, Shibam faces the dual challenges of preserving its ancient heritage while adapting to contemporary needs. The introduction of electricity running water and modern amenities, such as refrigerators and air conditioning units, has brought significant changes to the lifestyle of its residents. However, integrating these modern conveniences into the ancient mud-brick structures has proven challenging, requiring creative solutions to maintain the integrity of the buildings. The city's status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site has helped to attract international attention and support, but it has also brought an influx of tourists. While tourism provides a valuable source of income for the local economy, it also places additional strain on the city's infrastructure. The narrow streets designed for pedestrian traffic struggle to accommodate the increasing number of visitors, and the fragile mud-brick buildings are at risk from the vibrations caused by modern vehicles. The preservation of Shibam's unique architecture and cultural heritage is a priority for both local authorities and international organizations. Numerous restoration projects have been initiated, focusing on reinforcing the foundations of the buildings, repairing damaged mud-brick walls, and renewing the protective layers of mud plaster. These efforts are crucial in safeguarding the city's structures against the effects of weathering and environmental degradation. Local community involvement is a key aspect of these preservation efforts. Traditional builders, known as USTA, who possess specialized knowledge of mud-brick construction, play a central role in the restoration projects. Training programs have been established to pass on these skills to younger generations, ensuring that the knowledge and techniques needed to maintain Shibam's architecture are not lost. One of the innovative projects aimed at preserving Shibam is the use of digital technologies to document and monitor the city's structures. High-resolution 3D scanning and drone photography have been employed to create detailed models of the city, allowing conservationists to track changes and identify areas in need of repair. These digital records also serve as an invaluable resource for future restoration work. The symbolism of Shibam. Shibam stands as a powerful symbol of human resilience and adaptability. It represents a remarkable blend of ancient traditions and modern challenges, a place where the past and present coexist in a delicate balance. The city's vertical skyline, rising from the desert floor, is a visual metaphor for the endurance and tenacity of its people, who have thrived in a harsh environment for centuries. Shibam's story is one of survival against the odds. It has withstood the ravages of time, natural disasters and human conflict, remaining a vibrant community even as the world around it has changed. Its mud-brick skyscrapers, though built from the simplest of materials, are masterpieces of engineering, embodying the ingenuity of their builders. The city's continued existence is a testament to the strength of its cultural heritage and the commitment of its residents to preserve their unique way of life. Astounding facts about Shibam. First, Shibam is considered the oldest skyscraper city in the world, with buildings dating back to the 16th century, many of which are over 500 years old. Its mudbrick towers were among the tallest man-made structures of their time. Second, despite being located in one of the most arid regions on Earth, Shibam's architecture effectively manages the desert heat. Its narrow streets and high walls create a shaded, cooler environment akin to a vertical oasis. Third, Shibam was one of the first sites in the Arab world to be recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, listed in 1982 for its cultural and historical significance. Fourth, the city's unique style has inspired modern architects, particularly those interested in sustainable and environmentally responsive design. Shibam's vertical city planning, natural insulation methods, and adaptive reuse of local materials have influenced concepts in modern architecture, especially in regions that face similar environmental challenges. The compact high-rise construction also serves as an early example of urban density, a principle increasingly important in contemporary city planning. Fifth, Shibam's layout, with its densely packed high-rises, is an early precursor to modern urban planning principles. The city occupies a footprint of approximately 330 by 240 meters, roughly the size of 3 Manhattan blocks, but with a population density much higher than most contemporary urban centers. Sixth, Shibam's strategic design served as a defensive mechanism. The tall, closely spaced buildings created a barrier against potential invaders, while the narrow streets allowed residents to better control and defend their space in case of attack. The compact nature of the city also made it easier to monitor and protect. Seventh, Shibam's architectural techniques demonstrate a sustainable approach to building that has been practiced for centuries. The use of mudbrick, a renewable material, combined with methods for maximizing airflow and natural cooling, has allowed the city to endure harsh environmental conditions without modern cooling systems. Eighth, Shibam is often referred to as the City of 500 Towers, highlighting its forest of mudbrick skyscrapers. These structures, some reaching up to 11 stories, were built to house entire extended families, demonstrating an early form of high-density residential living. Ninth, beyond its architecture, Shibam has historically been a center of culture and learning in the Hadramaut region. The city was known for its poets, scholars and traders, contributing to a rich cultural heritage that continues to be celebrated today. And 10th, Shibam's high-rise buildings predate modern skyscrapers by several centuries. The vertical expansion of the city, driven by limited space and the need for protection against floods, mirrors the motivations behind the development of skyscrapers in modern cities, such as New York and Chicago, which aim to maximize urban space. The resilience of Shibam's community. Despite the numerous threats it has faced throughout its history, Shibam's community has demonstrated remarkable resilience. The people of Shibam have a strong connection to their city, viewing it not just as a place to live, but as a living testament to their heritage and identity. This connection has been crucial in mobilizing efforts to protect and preserve the city, even amidst ongoing challenges. Local leaders and residents have played an active role in preservation initiatives, working closely with international organizations such as UNESCO and the World Monuments Fund. These efforts have included restoration projects, educational programs aimed at raising awareness about the city's significance, and initiatives to promote sustainable tourism that respects the cultural and historical integrity of Shibam. The local craftsmen and builders, known as muhandis, have continued to pass down their skills through generations, maintaining the traditional methods of mudbrick construction. This continuity of knowledge and practice has been essential in keeping the city's architectural heritage alive. The preservation of these techniques is seen as an act of cultural resistance, a way of asserting the value of traditional ways of life in a rapidly modernizing world. Shibam's unique skyline has captured the imagination of architects, historians, and travelers from around the world. Its comparison to modern urban landscapes like Manhattan or Chicago highlights its distinctive place in the history of urban development. While the modern skyscrapers of the Western world symbolize economic growth and technological advancement, Shibam's mud-brick towers stand as symbols of resourcefulness and adaptation to environmental constraints. The city has also become a subject of study for architects and urban planners interested in sustainable building practices. As the world grapples with the effects of climate change and the need for more sustainable urban development, Shibam offers valuable lessons in how to build in harmony with the environment. Its use of local, renewable materials and natural cooling techniques provides a model for sustainable construction in arid and semi-arid regions. In recent years, Shibam has also been featured in various cultural and media projects aimed at showcasing its beauty and significance. Documentaries, travel features, and academic studies have highlighted the city's architectural wonders and the resilience of its people. These portrayals have helped to challenge negative stereotypes about Yemen, presenting a more nuanced picture of the country's rich cultural heritage. Looking to the future, the preservation of Shibam faces several critical challenges. The ongoing conflict in Yemen has made it difficult to carry out consistent restoration work, and the threat of further environmental disasters looms large. Climate change, with its potential to increase the frequency of extreme weather events, poses a serious risk to the city's mud-brick structures. Without timely intervention and ongoing maintenance, many of Shibam's iconic towers could be lost. Another challenge lies in balancing the need for modernization with the preservation of traditional practices. As younger generations increasingly migrate to urban centers in search of better opportunities, there is a risk of losing the cultural knowledge that has sustained Shibam for centuries. Efforts to preserve the city must therefore include strategies for keeping the local community engaged and involved, ensuring that the traditional skills and ways of life are passed on. Despite these challenges, there is hope for Shibam. International awareness of the city's historical and cultural value has brought increased support for preservation efforts. Projects focused on sustainable tourism aim to bring economic benefits to the local community while respecting the city's unique character. Educational initiatives, both local and international, are helping to raise awareness about the importance of protecting Shibam's heritage. For centuries, Shibam has captivated the imagination of those who have encountered it, from ancient traders and medieval travelers to modern tourists and scholars. The city's mystique lies in its remarkable blend of history, architecture, and cultural resilience. Standing amidst the vast expanse of the Arabian desert, Shibam appears like a mirage, its mud-brick towers rising like pillars of an ancient temple. It is a city where time seems to stand still, a place that offers a glimpse into a bygone era of trade caravans, bustling markets, and desert fortresses. The mystical allure of Shibam is further heightened by the legends and stories that surround it. According to local folklore, the city was built by the descendants of Shem, son of Noah, after the Great Flood. This ancient lineage adds a layer of sacredness to the city, making it not just a place of residence, but a symbol of human endurance and divine blessing. Visitors often describe a sense of awe when walking through its narrow streets, a feeling of stepping into a different time and place where the past and present converge. Ultimately, Shibam stands as a powerful symbol of endurance. It embodies the spirit of a people who have adapted to their environment with ingenuity and creativity, building a city that has stood the test of time. The skyscrapers of Shibam, made from humble mud brick, rival the steel giants of the modern world not in height, but in their significance as a testament to human achievement. They are a reminder that architecture is not just about building structures, but about creating spaces that reflect the values, culture, and history of a community. Shibam's legacy is one of resilience, adaptation, and continuity. It tells the story of a city that has survived floods, conflicts, and the ravages of time, yet remains vibrant and alive. As the world continues to change, the lessons of Shibam about sustainability, community and living in harmony with the environment are more relevant than ever. The city's future may be uncertain, but its past is a source of inspiration, a beacon of hope that the ancient wisdom of its builders can help guide the way forward. Shibam, the ancient skyscraper city of Yemen, stands as a marvel of human ingenuity and a testament to the adaptability of its people. Its mud-brick towers, rising from the desert like the pinnacles of a forgotten civilization, have made it one of the most remarkable urban landscapes in the world. The city's unique architecture, deeply rooted in its environment and culture, offers valuable insights into sustainable building practices and urban planning that have withstood the test of time. In a world that increasingly values the new and the modern, Shibam reminds us of the enduring power of tradition and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. Its story is one of survival against the odds, a celebration of the human spirit's capacity to create beauty and order in even the harshest of environments. As we look to the future, Shibam's skyscrapers stand not just as relics of the past, but as symbols of resilience and hope for the generations to come. The mystical allure of Shibam continues to captivate those who encounter it, drawing visitors into its narrow streets and towering heights, where the whispers of ancient traders and the echoes of centuries-old prayers seem to linger in the air. It is a place where history lives on, a city that, despite the ravages of time and the challenges of the modern world, remains as it has always been, standing tall in the desert, a monument to the ingenuity, resilience, and indomitable spirit of its people.